All right, let's talk about something that separates the businesses that just kind of get by from the ones that truly explode. It's not about chasing more and more customers. The real secret, it's about unlocking the massive untapped value in the customers you already have. And today we're going to unpack the blueprint for that. It's called the Ascension Model. You know, the single biggest mistake most businesses make is falling into this one-and-done trap. They think getting that first sale is the hardest part, the finish line, and they pour all their money and energy into it. But here's the thing. They're completely ignoring a simple neurological fact. The easiest, most profitable sale you'll ever make is the next one, the one that comes after a customer has already had a win with you. So many companies see that first transaction as the peak of the mountain. But in reality, it's just base camp. The real climb, the real profit, that's all still ahead. So let's just completely flip the script here. This question, this is the whole game. What if getting that first dollar from someone is the hardest it will ever be? What if every sale after that just gets easier and easier? It sounds kind of backward, doesn't it? I mean, we're all taught that selling the expensive stuff is the real grind, but what if that's just flat out wrong? What if our own psychology is wired for the exact opposite? Seriously, letting this one question sink in can change your entire approach to business. Okay, so here's the roadmap for today. We're gonna start with the one-and-done trap and why the typical storefront model just doesn't work. Then we'll dive into the solution, the success expansion loop, and the psychology that makes it tick. We'll even cover how to build one yourself. And we'll wrap up with the big idea here, pulling people toward value instead of pushing products. All right, first up, the one-and-done trap. You might call this the paradox of profitability. This is a huge crisis for so many companies. It's that feeling, where the money you spend just to get one customer is actually more than you make from their first purchase. You end up on this frantic treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay in exactly the same spot. It's exhausting and it's not scalable. Now look at this. This right here is the math that changes everything. Someone who gets a quick win with, say, a $7 tool is 10 times more likely to buy your $5,000 program than a total stranger. That's not 10% better, it's 1,000%. Why? It's all about trust. Once they get a result, even a tiny one from you, their brain just rewires. You're not just some random company anymore, you're the person who helped them win. That first transaction, it wasn't really about the $7, it was a trust deposit. And when you deliver on that, asking for the next, bigger deposit feels so much safer for them. Okay, so if building that trust is so ridiculously valuable, why are so many businesses just letting it go to waste? Well, it usually comes down to one big, fundamental mistake in how they're set up. We call it the static storefront failure. It's how almost everyone displays their offers, and honestly, it's a silent killer. So check out the difference here. On the left, you've got the failure model. It's like walking into a restaurant with a 20-page menu. You see everything at once, appetizers, entrees, desserts, and what happens? You get overwhelmed. It's called decision fatigue, and it makes people just shut down and maybe order nothing at all. But on the right, you have the Ascension Model. This isn't a menu, it's a guided path, a ladder. You're only shown the next logical step right when you're ready for it. Instead of dissipating all that great momentum from their first win, you harness it, you build on it. And this is the part you really need to get. If a customer doesn't buy your big, high-ticket offer, we all default to the same excuse. Oh, it was too expensive. But 99% of the time, that's not it. The problem isn't your price. The problem is your architecture. It was passive. You got them a win, and then you just left them standing there with nowhere to go. You didn't give them the next step on the path. The failure wasn't the product. It was the passive system. So if the static menu is the problem, what's the fix? Well, here it is. It's the engine that drives this entire model. It's called the Success Expansion Loop, and it's a blueprint designed to make your customer's journey up your value ladder feel totally effortless. Not like another sale, but like the next logical step, like getting a promotion they've earned. And this loop is elegantly simple. It's just 3 stages. First, you deliver a micro win. Second, you identify the next problem. And third, you frame it all as a journey narrative. That's it. Let's dig into each one. Okay, stage 1, the micro win. This is without a doubt the most important piece of the puzzle. Your first low-priced offer has one job. And listen, its job is not to make you money. Its job is to create an identity shift. It has to be engineered to give that person a fast, tangible, undeniable win. Because the second they get that win, they're not a prospect anymore. In their own mind, they've become a successful student of yours. That little shift, that's everything. It flips a switch in their brain, and they start looking for the next way to prove that new, successful identity is real. And here's where it gets really cool. Success always creates new problems. Always. Let's say your first product helped them get a ton of traffic to their website. Great! What's their new problem? Now they have to convert all that traffic. See? The key is to be right there, at that exact moment, when they're celebrating their win, but also starting to see the next challenge. You present your next offer not as some random upsell, but as the only logical tool to solve the brand new problem they just created for themselves. You're not pushing a sale on them. Their own success is pulling them toward your next solution. Finally, stage 3 wraps this whole thing in a story. You're not just selling product A, then product B, then product C. You're communicating a clear path to mastery. It's a journey, an evolution, a quest. So the customer never feels like they're just buying more stuff. They feel like they're leveling up. They're completing the next stage of the journey you've so clearly laid out for them. It feels less like a transaction and more like finishing a chapter in a book they're already hooked on. So we've seen the what and the how. Now let's talk about the why. Why is this model so incredibly powerful? Well, it's because it's not some clever marketing trick. It's built on deep, predictable principles of human psychology. It works with our natural tendencies, not against them. The biggest psychological driver here is something called the consistency principle. We're all hardwired to want to be consistent with what we've already done and said. That first micro win, that wasn't just them buying something. That was a public declaration. They essentially said, hey, I'm the kind of person who gets results with this. Now to stop or go backward would feel weird. It would create this internal tension. So there's this subconscious pressure to keep going, to take the next step, just to prove to themselves that their first decision was the right one. Your next offer is simply giving them a way to stay consistent with who they now believe they are. And here's what that consistency looks like in the real world. Just look at this. Let's say the chance of a cold prospect buying your expensive thing is a 1. Okay, now what about a customer who has already gotten a win with you? Their chance isn't 2, it isn't 3, it's a 10 times higher. That's the power of combining trust, results, and the consistency principle. The friction, the fear, the doubt, it just melts away. The cost to get that big sale basically goes to 0. There's another cool psychological trigger at play here too. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. And all it means is that our brains hate unfinished business. You know that feeling when you watch a TV show and it ends on a cliffhanger? Your brain can't let it go. Well, that's this effect. When you frame your value ladder as a journey, that first micro win is like the pilot episode. It opens a loop. And your big high-ticket offer, that's the series finale. It's the resolution their brain is craving. You're not trying to sell them a new show, you're just helping them finish the one they're already invested in. Okay, enough theory, we get the why. Now let's get super practical. How do you actually sit down and build this for your own business? Let's talk about the architecture. It really boils down to this 3-step blueprint. Step 1 is the Success-Gap Audit. You literally look at each of your products and ask a simple question. When someone succeeds with this, what new problem pops up? That gap. That's where your next product goes. Step 2, design your ladder. Map it out visually. What's step 1, step 2, step 3, all the way to mastery. And finally, step 3, and this is so important, implement usage-triggered pitches. This means you don't spam everyone with your next offer. You only present it to people at the perfect moment, right after they've hit a specific success milestone with the previous step. It's all about time. So how do you even know if all this is working? You track one single metric, and it's not revenue or number of sales. It's ascension velocity. All this measures is the speed at which your customers are moving from one step on your ladder to the next. If that speed is high, you know you've nailed it. It's the ultimate proof that your system is working, because it tells you people aren't moving up because you're good at selling. They're moving up because they're good at succeeding, and that success is pulling them forward. And that brings us to the real heart of this whole thing, the core idea that makes the Ascension model work. It's a total shift in how you need to think about your business and your customers. To really make this work, you have to change how you see yourself. You have to stop being a vendor who just sells a bunch of disconnected things from a digital shelf. Instead, you have to become a guide, an architect. Your job is to design the entire journey to mastery for your customer. You're not just focused on the next transaction, you're obsessed with ensuring their success at every single step, because you know that their success is what makes the next sale not just possible, but inevitable. And really, this quote says it all. The best marketing doesn't push people through a funnel. It's not about force. It's about creating a system that pulls them toward value simply because it's the next logical step they were going to take anyway. You're just lighting the path for them. That is the entire secret of the Ascension model. It's not about selling harder, it's about guiding better.